In the heart of a quiet village nestled among lush mountains, there lived an old Zen master named Haruto. He was known for his wisdom, calm demeanor, and the way he quietly influenced the lives of many who came to him seeking guidance. One day, a young man named Kaito, disheartened by the challenges of life, came to visit Master Haruto. Kaito had heard countless stories of how Master Haruto had helped people turn their lives around with simple yet profound teachings. He was hoping to find answers to the overwhelming confusion that clouded his mind. Kaito approached the Zen Master's humble abode, his heart heavy with frustration. His life, though outwardly successful, felt hollow. No matter how much he achieved, he was always left wanting more. The stress of work, the never-ending stream of notifications on his phone, and the constant comparison with others had left him mentally exhausted. He knew he needed a change but didn't know where to start. Kaito sat before Master Haruto, who calmly sipped tea, his face serene as the morning breeze. "Master, I feel stuck," Kaito began. "I've been working hard for years, chasing success, but nothing seems to bring me peace or fulfillment. Every day feels like a battle. What can I do to change my life?" Master Haruto looked at him kindly, his eyes reflecting years of wisdom. "Life can indeed feel like a constant struggle when we are not grounded," he said softly. "But change does not come from big, dramatic actions. It is born from small, consistent habits. Would you like to hear about 10 habits that, if followed, will transform your life?" Kaito nodded eagerly. He had heard about people changing their lives through routines, but he never thought something so simple could work for him. Habit 1: Start your day with gratitude. Master Haruto began, "The first habit is to start your day with gratitude." Kaito raised his eyebrows. "Gratitude?" It sounded too simple. Haruto smiled, sensing Kaito's skepticism. "Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I met a man who was always complaining about his life, about what he didn't have, about the opportunities he missed. He was consumed by this negativity. I suggested to him that each morning, before getting out of bed, he think of 3 things he was grateful for. At first, it was hard for him. He could only think of small things like his breakfast or the sunshine, but slowly as the days passed, his perspective began to change. He realized that life wasn't so bad after all. Over time, his gratitude practice expanded, and his heart felt lighter. Kaito listened carefully. "So, just by thinking about what I'm thankful for, I can shift my mindset." "Exactly," Master Haruto said. "Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have. And when you start your day with a grateful heart, you're much more likely to handle the day's challenges with a calm and positive outlook." Habit 2: Practice mindful breathing. "Now, the second habit is mindful breathing," Haruto continued. "Our breath is the bridge between our mind and body. When we are stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, our breath becomes shallow. But when we breathe deeply, we calm our mind and body." Kaito had heard about meditation and mindful breathing before, but never truly understood its importance. "When I was younger," Haruto explained, "I struggled with anger. Every little inconvenience would upset me. One day, my teacher told me to stop and focus on my breathing whenever I felt anger rising. I was skeptical, but I tried it. As I took slow, deep breaths, I felt the tension in my body dissolve. It was as if my anger had nowhere to go." Master Haruto looked at Kaito and said, "Try this the next time you feel stressed or overwhelmed. Close your eyes and take 5 slow, deep breaths. You'll notice a sense of calm wash over you." Kaito nodded, already imagining how this simple technique could help him in his fast-paced life. Habit 3: Set clear daily intentions. The third habit, the Zen Master continued, is setting daily intentions. Kaito was curious. "What do you mean by intentions?" "Before you begin your day, take a moment to decide what kind of day you want to have. Do you want to be productive, kind, or calm? By setting an intention, you guide your mind to focus on what truly matters. It's not about creating a to-do list, but more about aligning your actions with your inner values." Master Haruto shared another story. "I had a student who was always busy, but he felt his life lacked direction. I suggested that instead of focusing on tasks, he should set an intention each morning. One day, his intention was to be present in every interaction. He later told me that day felt more fulfilling than any other because he was focused, not on what he was doing, but on how he was doing it." Kaito was inspired. He realized that by setting intentions, he could create a more purposeful life. Habit 4. Declutter your space. The fourth habit, Haruto said, is to declutter your space. Kaito looked around the Zen Master's home. It was simple and peaceful, with very few possessions, each one having a purpose. When your surroundings are cluttered, your mind becomes cluttered as well. By decluttering, you create a space that promotes clarity and focus. This doesn't mean you must live with nothing, but only keep what truly adds value to your life. The Zen Master stood up and walked over to a small shelf. On it were only a few items: a book, a teapot, and a small plant. Each item here serves a purpose, Haruto explained. By simplifying your environment, you simplify your mind. Kaito thought about his own home, filled with unnecessary items that only added to his stress. I need to start decluttering, he muttered to himself. Habit 5. Embrace silence. Next, the Zen Master said, is the practice of embracing silence. Kaito frowned. Silence. How can that help? Silence, Haruto said gently, is where wisdom is born. In the constant noise of modern life, we rarely give ourselves time to reflect. Yet, it is in those moments of silence that we find clarity. He continued, there was once a time when I struggled with making decisions. My mind was clouded by too many thoughts. My teacher advised me to spend time in silence each day. At first it felt strange, but over time I realized that in silence, the answers I sought would often come naturally. Kaito found this intriguing. He was always surrounded by noise: his phone, his computer, the bustling city. Perhaps some time in silence could help him find the clarity he needed. Habit 6. Take regular breaks. The sixth habit, Haruto said with a smile, is to take regular breaks. Kaito chuckled. That sounds nice, but I'm always busy. How can I afford to take breaks? The Zen Master nodded knowingly. That's exactly why you need them. When we push ourselves continuously without rest, we burn out. Breaks are not a luxury, they are essential for maintaining productivity and creativity. Haruto leaned forward. I once had a student who prided himself on working non-stop. But soon, his work suffered. He was exhausted, and his mind became dull. When I suggested taking regular breaks, he resisted at first. But when he finally did, he found his energy and focus improved. Kaito realized that taking breaks might actually help him work better, not less. Habit 7. Eat mindfully. The seventh habit, Haruto continued, is to eat mindfully. Kaito was surprised. Eating can change your life. Haruto nodded. Eating mindfully means fully experiencing your meal, savoring each bite, and appreciating the nourishment it provides. It's not just about food, but about being present in the moment. The Zen Master shared another story. I had a student who often ate while distracted watching TV, scrolling through his phone. He was never truly satisfied with his meals. When I suggested he eat mindfully, he discovered a new appreciation for food and felt more energized. Kaito smiled, realizing how often he ate while distracted. I'll try that, he said. Habit 8. Limit social media consumption. The eighth habit, Haruto said, is to limit your social media consumption. Kaito sighed. That's a tough one. Haruto smiled sympathetically. In our world, it's easy to get lost in social media, constantly comparing ourselves to others. But these distractions take us away from the present moment and our own path. The Zen Master looked out at the peaceful garden. I had a student who was constantly on his phone, comparing his life to others. He felt inadequate, no matter how much he achieved. I suggested limiting his social media use, and over time he found more peace and contentment in his own life. Kaito nodded thoughtfully. He knew the master was right. Social media often left him feeling drained and inadequate. Habit 9. Reflect before sleep. The ninth habit, Haruto said, is to reflect before sleep. Kaito raised an eyebrow. Reflect on what? Each night, the master explained, take a few moments to reflect on your day. Think about what went well, what you learned, and what you could improve. This simple practice will help you grow and ensure that each day is a step forward. Haruto shared another personal story. When I was younger, I used to rush through life without reflecting. It wasn't until I started this nightly reflection that I realized how much I was missing. It helped me become more aware of my actions and their impact. Kaito felt a deep sense of connection to this habit. He realized that by reflecting on his day, he could learn from his experiences and grow as a person. Habit 10. Give without expectation. The final habit, Haruto said softly, is to give without expectation. Kaito looked at the master with curiosity. But how can giving change my life? Haruto smiled warmly. When you give without expecting anything in return, you open your heart. It could be something as simple as giving your time, your kindness, or even a smile. The act of giving enriches your soul and brings a deeper sense of fulfillment. The Zen Master concluded with a story. I once helped a young man who was struggling with loneliness. I suggested he volunteer at a local shelter. At first, he did it reluctantly, but over time he found joy in helping others. He no longer felt lonely because his heart was full from the connections he made. Conclusion: the power of small habits. As the sun began to set, Kaito looked at Master Haruto with newfound clarity. Each of the 10 habits the Zen Master shared felt simple, yet powerful. I can see now that change doesn't have to be overwhelming, Kaito said, smiling. It's about the small, consistent actions we take every day. Master Haruto nodded, his eyes twinkling. Exactly, Kaito. Transformation is not about doing everything at once. It's about taking small steps and being patient with the process. Over time, these habits will shape you into the person you wish to become. Kaito left the Zen Master's home with a sense of purpose. He knew the journey ahead would not be easy, but with these 10 habits, he had the tools to create lasting change in his life. Final reflection: embracing the journey. Months later, Kaito returned to visit Master Haruto. He was no longer the frustrated young man who had first come seeking answers. Through the practice of these simple habits, Kaito had found more peace, focus, and fulfillment in his life. Master Kaito said, I've realized that life is not about chasing happiness. It's about embracing the journey. And these habits have helped me enjoy the present moment. Master Haruto smiled. You've learned well, Kaito. Remember, the journey is long, but with these small habits, each step will bring you closer to a life of peace and fulfillment. And with that, Kaito bowed in gratitude, ready to continue his journey of growth and self-discovery.